Okay, so I received this message today, which really sort of encouraged me about the 6th of September being a high watch day. And so I just want to read it out to you. It says, "Dear Overcomer, I found your video on Saturday night when I was searching for Rapture 6th of September. I have been seeing and have been given prompts and had a clear dream with the number 69 in it. I also have been given 96, the reverse, a lot. I never thought of this as a possible date, but only saw this as a number. I asked the Lord numerous times to reveal to me what it meant. The last time I asked, I received a dream about someone putting a dressing gown type mantle on me and about standing outside and pointing at a full moon turning red. So I looked up the next full moon, which to my amazement is going to be on the 6th of September. Then I noticed that it is on a Wednesday, which aligned to a dream I had previously with the message about I come on Wednesday. So I'm just going to continue this on another picture because I can't record the screen when I'm on YouTube, so I have to save it as a screenshot. Okay, so continuing, this sounds crazy, but it was only then that I felt that the 6th of September is going to be a significant date. So that is how I randomly did a search and got to your video. I feel good about this. It is now that I feel the 69 and 96 phenomena has fallen into place for me. I'm not saying that there will be a blood moon like in my dream, but I guess it was a way to get me to look on the moon calendar and find that date. God bless you, sister. Okay, so, when we look at the cycle, okay, of the full moon, I'm just going to show you now that, okay, what we have is we have obviously the full moon reaching maximum on the 6th of September. It's actually going to reach maximum at about 8 o'clock in the morning British summer time on the 6th of September. But as you can see, the few days leading up to the 6th, obviously it looks like a full moon, but it's not quite a full moon. Even the 7th looks like a full moon, but the actual full moon day is the 6th of September. So what's interesting, though, is if you look between the 4th and the 7th of September, even the 8th, going into that time period, they look pretty much like a full moon. Yeah, I mean, the 5th especially is becoming more rounded, and then the 6th is definitely a round full moon, and then the 7th even is looking like a full moon, but it's kind of waning a little bit, starting to wane there now. So what we have then is on the Overcomer calendar. So bearing in mind those phases of the full moon that are coming up to reach maximum eclipse on the 6th. What we have is on the overcomercalendar.com, we have that the second Pentecost count falls on the 4th of September. And I believe that we're going to see potentially 3 days of darkness before the 40 days of glorified ministry begins. Now, we may not see the 3 days of darkness because we've already had those 3 solar eclipses in 2015, 16, and the one just gone in August 2017 as being 3 nights for the sign of Jonah. Obviously, the timeline being 3 years from 2014 to 2017 is also the 3 days. So we may not have a literal 3 days of darkness, but I believe in a way we could, because I've had dreams of being taken at the onset of the 3 days of darkness. And I've had at least a couple that I can remember, and that was at the onset of the darkness beginning. So this is really interesting because from the 4th to the 5th and then the 6th of September, those would be the 3 days of darkness potentially. Okay, so the 3rd day would be the Wednesday, the 6th of September, which is the new moon day for the 6th month. And this is what I believe is the glorious 8th day. Now, why is it the 8th day? Well, let's go back again and have a look at the 4th and 5th of September. If you look at where the 4th and 5th of September fall on, they fall on the 6th and 7th days of the week there. Okay, so therefore, the new moon day is actually outside of the calendar. It's not any of the 6 working days, and it's not a 7th day Sabbath. It's actually an 8th day. And this is the 8th day that I believe I've been looking for the last 3 years. And we know that it talks about blowing the ram's horn on the new moon and the full moon and at our appointed feast of the Lord. Okay, so we have obviously, if you look at the 7th month on the Overcomer calendar, the full moon would also be on the 7th of October, being the first day of the 7th month. But the new moon day is actually the 6th of October, because we actually reach maximum lunar fullness of the full moon late in the evening on the 5th of October, British summer time. So therefore the new moon day would be the Friday the 6th of October. But as you know, as I've already shown you, that the full moon really lasts a good 2 or 3 days. Okay, so if you look at the shape again, I'll just quickly show you. If we just go even into October, let's have a look at October. So this is moonconnection.com that you can find all this from, looking at the full moon phases. So if you look at the phase there, you know, you've got the 5th, 6th and 7th there, all looking pretty full. Yeah. The actual maximum is reaching fullness on the evening of the 5th in British summer time. But obviously the new moon day would be the 6th of October 2017. And therefore the first day of the 7th month would be the 7th of October, being a full moon. Okay, which is the Feast of Trumpets. Now, a lot of people would say, well, what about the new crescent moon calendar? You know, because people start the new crescent moon calendar as being on the first day of the 7th month as the sliver of the moon. Well, if you take into account that cycle, right, if I go back, so going back to the first month, okay, if you consider that the crescent moon starts on the first day of the month, by the time you get to Passover, yeah, it's going to be pretty much a full moon. So a full moon at night time wouldn't justify the need for artificial light, would there? Because if you've got the full brightness of the moon at night time, then you wouldn't need to necessarily go outside and justify carrying torches or lanterns, would you? Because you've got the full moon as your light. And yet, isn't it strange that what happens when Jesus is arrested during Passover night, when apparently, according to the new crescent moon calendar, it's supposed to be a full moon, they're carrying lanterns and torches to help light their way. How would they be doing this or why would they be doing this if there's a full moon? Therefore, it clearly shows us that during Passover night is when the moon is really at the dark conjunction phase, which is, you know, around about the 14th and 15th of the day of the month. Therefore, that's why Jesus said that they didn't arrest him during the daytime. No, they arrested him at nighttime, because this is the time when darkness reigns. You know, from midnight hour is obviously the time when darkness really begins to reign in midnight. But not just that. I believe Jesus was saying that this is also the time when darkness reigns, is when the moon isn't full, because it doesn't give off his light. Therefore, the night is dark. So that's why when Jesus was arrested, it was a very dark night. And that's why they came with lanterns and torches, because they didn't have the full moon to light their way. So that's clearly what's found in, you know, in the Gospels there. So that's why we know that the full moon is the new moon, because you have that as being a sign for us, as the fact is that when Jesus was arrested, they were carrying lanterns and torches, meaning that it was dark. It wasn't lit up by the full moon. Okay, so going back then to this 6th month. Okay, what we have then is we have the new moon day being the 6th of September, which is the 3rd day of potentially 3 days of darkness. Therefore, if there is going to be this spiritual darkness, that would cause the moon to go blood red, which is pretty amazing. So the high watch time really is between the 4th and the 6th of September. The 6th of September is the 8th day. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a video that I've had for a couple of years from a lady who also had a dream about it going dark on the 8th day. And we know that Noah was shut in the ark on the 8th day. So he had the 7-day warning, and then on the 8th day, he was shut in. It says that he entered the ark, and then the Lord shut him in. So we've been having potentially 7-day warning, which is over the last 7 years at least. This is now the 8th year since 2009. So this is now the 8th day in this whole entire time period and timeline. But it's also the 3rd day. And we know that when Jesus came down the mountain after being transfigured before Peter, James and John, he came down the mountain the next day. And the next day would be after this transfiguration on the 8th day, which being the 6th of September, the next day would be the 1st day of the 6th month, which is the 7th of September, for 40 days of glorified ministry, taking us up to the Day of Atonement on the 16th of October. That is really the only pattern that I see that fulfills the timeline for the sign of Jonah. We have 3 years from 2014 to 2017 being 3 days, and then we have 3 solar eclipses of 2015, 2016, 2017 for being 3 nights of the sign of Jonah, followed by this potential literal 3 days of darkness from the 4th to the 6th of September, and then obviously the 7th of September will initiate the 40 days of glorified ministry. If we don't see the days of darkness begin on the 4th or the 5th of September, then there may just be 1 literal day of darkness on the 8th day, and then things will begin on the 7th of September. So I just want to encourage you with this, that, you know, things are looking very exciting now indeed for things to manifest for the 6th of September as being the 8th day. Okay, so the trumpet is to be sounded according to this scripture in Psalm 81 verse 3, that the trumpet is to be blown at the new moon, at the set time, the appointed time, and on the feast day of the Lord. And other translations say, blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon, on our feast day. Okay, so if you look at Numbers 10, you'll see when the trumpet is to be blown as well. The 2 silver trumpets, to be honest, that Moses is commanded to make by the Lord is found in Numbers 10. So that's probably what we're looking to hear, is really the trumpet being sounded on the new moon day of the 6th month, which is the 6th of September. Well, I'm going to play this video now, and it's only a couple of minutes long. God bless you, and have a great day.
Before that, I had a dream that me and my husband was on the ship, and you know, we was talking about I was telling my husband about calling out. You know, I kind of had been bugging him about calling out of work, because we was on that, I thought we was on a cruise ship, and I thought we was pretty much, you know, on vacation. I was just telling him, you know, maybe you need to call out, because he didn't call out. He just kind of, you know, went on this cruise, at least I thought was a cruise ship, until I went outside. And when I got outside, you know, I was going to catch some fresh air, and I noticed it was so dark. Like, it wasn't dark like nighttime, you know, where the moon is out and it's shining, or when the moon is not out and you can still see, but it was a type of dark you couldn't see. And you couldn't even see like your feet, you couldn't see your hand, and it didn't get like that when I first got out there. It was dark, but it wasn't that dark. And it was like the longer I stood out there, the darker it got. And so I started to make my way, because I was trying to look up in the air, in the sky, and I couldn't see the the heavens. I couldn't see stars. I couldn't see the moon. I couldn't see nothing. So I went back inside. I felt my way back inside because I knew where I came from, but I didn't walk that far from the hatch door. And yes, it was a hatch door. The door was a hatch that I came out of, but I don't remember climbing up to get out of the hatch. I just kind of opened the door, but it was a hatch door off this ship. And yeah, the railings were low, kind of like in this photo right here. And the door, like I said, it was a hatch door. So yeah, so I went back inside, and you know, we had the lights on in the ship. And I asked my husband, I said, baby, what day is it? And he told me today was the 8th day.